Hey guys, SkittleRampage here. Welcome back to a new video. I do hope you're enjoying your day today. So we're back with trending Funko Pop news. Now today we have about 10 Funko Pops going up in value. And as always guys, if you want to see these videos more often, leave a comment down below of a Funko Pop you've noticed going up. Now before we jump into our selections today, we have our question of the day, which is, do you have a Funko Pop in your collection or character that has just been super traumatized in their series? And I'm gonna go with Gon here, more specifically Ice Cream Gon. He was pretty traumatized by one character dying specifically. Alright guys, so let's go and get started with some of the more newer releases that we've had that have shot up in value. So first up we have Strawberry Shortcake here, a 750 piece redeemable part of Funko's limited edition program. Estimated value roughly around $200. So recent sales have been $175, $208, we had a $200 sale and $182. And then current listings at $220, $200, $177, and $199. So obviously this was pretty expected with these limited edition releases. We're going to talk about, I think, at least one more today. However, with Strawberry Shortcake specifically, 750 pieces, that is pretty limited. So again, it was kind of just expected to have value. Now, funny enough, this is actually a remake, technically, of one of the older pops. And that pop still trends around $50, but this one's much more expensive. Now, in my opinion, as the stock does start to dry up more and more on this one, it'll probably go up more in value. Again, there's only 750 out there. Let me know in the comments below, though, were you one of the lucky ones to grab this one for retail? Now, speaking of Funko's limited edition program, same situation with Genya here, though this one's limited to 1,200 pieces. Though the estimated value is still around $200, recent sales, $220, $244, we also had $250 as well as $200 there, and then some current listings found $210, $220, $250, and then $210 there. So I will say this one's around the $200 to $250 range, it does seem. Now the crazy thing about this one is the fact that it is actually just a metallic version of the common that already does exist. At least with Strawberry Shortcake, it was just like an updated version of a really old pop. Genya genuinely is one of those silly grails that is just limited, and that's what has the value there, that sticker. What's even more crazy is I'm pretty sure this is now the most expensive Demon Slayer pop, because it goes kind of like the, you know, you have the Muichidos, the Chase, or, you know, the official Funko sticker. But then you also have the Obanai Funko exclusive that hasn't restocked in a while, so it's just, you know, limited in that factor. But unless I'm not thinking of something specific, right now I think Genya is the most expensive, which is just so crazy. Let me know what you guys think about Funko's limited edition exclusives so far and the value they have currently. Now moving on to another anime selection we have today, it comes from Dragon Ball Z, and we have the Android 4-pack here. So this one was an exclusive that only really released overseas. Estimated value around $95. You can see it kind of sat around that kind of $70 range for a while, almost retail. Recent sales, $65. One best offer around $90 from Germany, but you had that almost $30 shipping. And then we also had a $40 sale. But the only three listings I could find between Mercari, eBay, and whatnot were all around $150. I do want to say in the last like half year or so, we did actually see Chalice Collectibles sell this one through their Amazon webpage. I think it was around 60 or 70 bucks. I think it was around that price. So roughly retail, you know, for an overseas pop, they probably got it cheaper. So they could afford to put it more around the retail price. This is just something that never released here, so everybody was jumping on it. I think it was supposed to be a Walmart exclusive in the States, but so much has gone on with Walmart and all their exclusives lately that a lot just didn't, you know, release. Same with the that new White Ranger pop that we've been waiting on as a Walmart exclusive release. Never released here, only released overseas. Same situation here among many other exclusives. A lot of these 4-packs lately, or repackaged commons, just don't end up releasing here. It's just like an overseas specific thing. And at this point, I don't think this Android 4-pack is ever going to get an official release here. I think whatever stock is out there is what's out there. So maybe another company will, you know, drop a bunch on us at a decent price again. But for now, it's kind of hard to gauge this one's value given there's very few on the market that I can find. But I did figure this one was worth mentioning given it's really hard to find at this point. Next up for Squid Game fans, we have the Frontman NFT redeemable here. So thank you to the Discord member that pointed this one out. I actually did talk about this one in the past, but looks like it's gone up even more. Estimated current value is around $840, but as you can see, it's peaked around $900 before, though recent sales are still around that $900 to $1,000 range. And then the current listings of what I could find across Whatnot, eBay, and Mercari, $1,500, $2,300, and then one that's graded at a 9 at $4,204. So funny enough, in that Squid Games NFT set, this was a Grail redeemable, I think at 999 pieces. but only 450 were redeemed. So roughly about half of them were actually redeemed. The other half were burned. They were never made. So there's about 50% of the supply in circulation and very limited for sale at this point. And with the new season coming up, this one's just going up even more. It's a pretty crazy piece with this, and it just shows the value in those NFT pieces. I am pretty curious though if anybody here watching this video actually has this Frontman Grail. Now speaking of TV shows, I actually wanted to go over the Psych 2-pack here. This one's jumped up in value here. As you can see, recent sales at $85, $70, $40, and $70. And then current listings of what I could find on eBay, $5,500, $62.99, and $38. So this one's definitely not retail currently. It is sold out at Entertainment Earth, it's sold out at Funko, and sold out at most places. Though, actually, I think Entertainment Earth has it on order again. It was bound to restock, obviously. It looks like they just only made so many in the first run. And it is possible that Funko underestimated the popularity of this 2-pack and they're producing more as fast as they can. So like I said, Entertainment Earth was sold out at one point. I believe there is a pre-order going on now for a restock if you would like to grab it. But I thought it was worth mentioning because every once in a while Funko will have like a set or something that sells out, kind of like the Arcane set, for example, where they just can't keep it in stock. But eventually more stock will come and the price will settle back down. Next up for sports fans, we have WWE here, and we have the brand new John Cena exclusive. So basically this is his farewell tour pop, estimated value around $46, and then the recent sales are around $40 to $50, and then current listings range from $40 all the way up to $75. This was actually one of those things where it was kind of like a pre-order based thing where they only sold so many. I think it was. I can't remember if this one went on Fanatics as well. I don't think it did. I think it was like a Funko Shop thing, and it was just their pre-order thing where, you know, they make whatever people do order. So that's where the value comes on top of it being a farewell tour pop and John Cena ending his career at the end of this year. Now, another sports pop we actually had was Steph Curry here, and this was the Slam cover. I think we talked about this one a while back, or we may have spoken about the magazine cover. I can't remember which one it was. But anyways, estimated value around $120, and recent sales $140, $100, $190, and $250 there. And then current listings have been around $175, almost up to $300. So just really hard to find. Obviously, Steph Curry is really popular. Most of his pops do actually have value. I think even the other magazine cover has a little bit value to it too. I'm not entirely sure if this one will restock for anybody wondering. Our final sports pop today is from NHL, and this is TJ Oshie, estimated value around $55. You can see that big jump recently there. Recent sales, $80, $50. There was one in China. I'm not really sure if that's a real pop or what, but there were more listings around that too, as you can see on the right side there at $38. So again, I don't know if to call it a real listing. We can just look at some of the other ones around the $50 to $80 range. And then recent listings of what I could find. There's some signed ones, but the ones unsigned are around $85 and up. Now, I don't really watch hockey personally or pay too much attention to it. This was just one I noticed while I was looking for pops for this video that did go up. So if there's a specific reason for any hockey fans, let us know down below. Now, our next selection comes from the pop video games line, and interesting enough, Assassin's Creed. Haven't talked about one of these in a while, but we do actually have the Jacob Fry Uncloaked Underground Toys exclusive. So I couldn't actually find the listing on eBay, but the last one stated on Pop Price Guide was in February at $100. And estimated value on this one for a minute has been around the $60 to $70 range, and then it jumped up to $80 recently. But the only two listings I could find across multiple platforms were around $150. So I would say this one's probably around the 100 and up range, given it's just so hard to find. Some of the other Assassin's Creed pops have slowly been creeping up, but this has definitely been one of the bigger jumps. Again, there's no real other sales happening right now, but most likely because you can't find it other than these two listings. If you guys have found any more, let me know in the comments below, but again, it was one of those ones that I felt was worth mentioning. It's just one of those random one-off pops that's just shooting up and harder to find. Now, the last pop we have to go over today comes from Pop Music, and we have Britney Spears, the NYCC exclusive from last year. So Pop Price Guide has it at $15, though the shared sticker has been selling higher than that, around mostly the $40 to $45 range. and then listings I found as low as $30 up to $55. Funny enough, a lot of the Britney Pops actually have value, more specifically the older ones here. So I'm not too surprised that this one also has value. It also has an official sticker variation that goes for a little bit more, but they're also kind of like neck and neck, it does seem, with the official and shared sticker on this one. But let me know if you guys own either. Well guys, that does cover some of the latest Funko Pops going up in value. Let me know in the comments below if you guys do own anything from today's video. I do not. I do not own a single one of these. Even the Android 4-pack. That's actually one of the few like repaints and things like that that I'd actually be into buying, just because they're Android, so they make sense to be metallic. I feel like they should have just been metallic from the get-go, but you know, having all the Androids together too like that with Dr. Giro is just a really cool concept, so that's one of the few reasons I would buy it. But outside of that, I don't own any of these in my collection, but let me know if you do. Now, as always, if you guys are enjoying these videos, make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe and click that notification bell if you're new here. I do want to say a big shout out to all awesome Patreon supporters of the channel. You guys are amazing for supporting myself and the channel. If you guys are interested and want to check out the Patreon, the link is down below. We have a Patreon-only Discord where we share a lot of information, news, restocks, updates, links, and more. And finally, make sure you follow me on all my social medias at SkittleRampage over on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and my Facebook page, so you can stay up to date. All right, love you guys. See you guys in the next one. See you guys later. Bye.